What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with another NFL free agency video. In this video, I will give you 30 underrated NFL free agents and their destination. These are undervalued names that can help your team. They're maybe not studs, but they can play a substantial role in the right system. They can't be on my top 20 for the offense or defensive top free agent lists. And there's no quarterbacks because they're too high profile to be underrated. Let's kick off the underrated free agents with running back DeAndre Washington. The Raiders decided to extend Richard over Washington, letting DeAndre test the open market. In 2019, Washington was one of the NFL's most effective receiving backs, finishing inside PFF's top 10 for running back receiving grade. A team who could use a shifty weapon out of the backfield is Jacksonville, who need a lot of depth behind Leonard Fournette. Plus, John's brother Jay Gruden is now the team's offensive coordinator. CJ Ham is probably the most underrated fullback in the NFL. The position itself has seen a little bit of a resurgence as of late. Ham played the third most snaps of anyone at the position in 2019 and was an overlooked reason why Dalvin Cook had such a monster season. I expect the Vikings to retain him, but if anyone will be looking to steal him away from Minnesota, Sean Payton and New Orleans will be looking to replace Zach Line. Randall Cobb immediately connected with Dak Prescott on arrival and physically looked his best in 2019 since his prime Packer days. The Cowboys have expressed interest in retaining Cobb. I believe he'll take the opportunity to return to Dallas and team up with his old coach, Mike McCarthy. If the Packers aren't able to land a big name at wide receiver in free agency, Tajay Sharp could be the type of under-the-radar signing that can make a big impact. Sharp has made the most of his opportunities with the Titans, but he's likely looking for some more playing time elsewhere. He's familiar with Matt LaFleur from his days in Tennessee and would be an upgrade over Allison in the slot. The Niners didn't miss a beat when Garland took over for Richburg in their starting lineup. Garland finished the season as PFF's 12th ranked center, meaning he could be in line for a starting spot elsewhere. Zach Taylor's offensive system has a lot of carryover from Kyle Shanahan's, and they value similar strengths in their alignment. Garland would complete Cincinnati's interior offensive line and help open up holes for Joe Mixon. The Rams could use a player with the flexibility and experience of Wisniewski, with the capability of starting at center or guard. Honestly, LA could use an upgrade at both positions. Karras is expected to make absolute bank after a pretty solid season starting in place of David Andrews at center for the Pats. The Jets strengthen their interior with a tough, smart center who they hope can open up holes for Bell and buy Darnold a little bit more time in the pocket. The Dolphins are looking to build their foundation up front on the offensive and defensive lines. Miami could go after a big physical force at nose tackle like Danny Shelton to play alongside Wilkins. Shelton had his best season as a pro in 2019. Flores was his defensive coordinator in 2018, winning a Super Bowl together. Wolf wants to finish his career with the Broncos in Denver. There have already been some pretty positive contract talks, and the Broncos probably won't allow themselves to lose both Harris and Wolf. The Chargers' highest graded interior defensive lineman last season was ranked 73rd. Jefferson would be a low-cost upgrade who performed very well within the same system for Seattle in 2019. Ranking 17th in win rate versus double teams and finishing with the Seahawks' second most pressures and quarterback knockdowns. Jordan Phillips probably had the quietest 9.5 sack season in the NFL in 2019. Atlanta could use some pass rush help and someone who could feast, partnered up with Grady Jarrett. Curry had a great bounce back season in 2019. PFF named him the Eagles' most improved player, ranking 22nd among all edge defenders. Curry has stated he would like to return to Philadelphia in 2020, and I believe the feeling is mutual. After many meh seasons with Buffalo, Shaq finally put together a good season, and it was just in time. With both Jerry Hughes and Trent Murphy getting up there in age, it would be smart to keep Lawson as he enters his prime years. Jerry Jones is hopeful that the Cowboys can get a deal done with Robert Quinn, but it won't be cheap. Quinn was Dallas's most effective pass rusher in 2019, finishing with the highest pass rush win rate out of every edge defender in the NFL. Ogba played really well for Kansas City until he went down with injury. He's the kind of young, low risk, but high reward type of player that Ballard would target. Extremely athletic, a D-end, D-tackle hybrid that the Colts system values. After being straight up cut by the Browns, Nassib has shined with back-to-back 6-sack seasons in Tampa Bay. The Bucs probably won't be able to afford him, seeing as how Barrett, Sue, and Pierre-Paul are all free agents. Carl is a big, powerful edge presence who performs best standing up. The Giants' new D-line coach, Sean Spencer, coached him during his college days at Penn State. The Pats love to steal up-and-coming players away from division rivals. With Van Noy likely leaving in free agency, the Pats could use an edge rusher. Jenkins has 15 sacks in 2 seasons, and he's great at setting the edge. At 6'3", 259, he fits the bill from a physical perspective as well. The Jags haven't been able to replace Telvin Smith since his sudden retirement. Campbell makes a lot of sense to me. He played in a nearly identical defensive scheme in Atlanta and is the type of athlete the Jags value at linebacker. Very rangy. Atlanta's back-to-back leader in tackles would significantly help the Jags in the middle of their defense. Nick took a lot of starting reps in 2020, and he impressed. Chicago is moving on from Trevathan, opening Kwiatkowski to return and take a full-time starting role at inside linebacker. For those who paid attention, Mayo was one of the most shocking come-out-of-nowhere players of 2019. He stood out, consistently making plays sideline to sideline for the G-men. New York has already released Ogletree and Kareem Martin. I believe Mayo will look to lead the new look linebacking group in New York in 2020. New Panthers defensive coordinator Phil Snow described his ideal defense as fast and physical. That is Michael Kendricks. He wants to be versatile. That is Michael Kendricks. Plus, signing Kendricks would at least help soften the blow of losing Luke Kuechly. Tampa Bay needs a ball-hawking safety to round out their secondary. Someone who can make big plays. Boston has consistently been one of the most underrated safeties in the sport. He's shown he can play deep, he can play in the box. I'm sure Todd Bowles would love a Swiss Army knife type of safety like Trey Boston. Phillips is the physical, versatile type safety the Hawks haven't had really since Cam Chancellor. Playing in LA for the Chargers, he's shown he can play and succeed within the same defensive scheme, even stepping up and playing linebacker in certain situations. The Eagles could use a rangy ball-hawking safety in their secondary who could complement Jenkins perfectly and help prevent some of the big plays that the Eagles have been prone to giving up these past couple of seasons. Tavon Wilson's skill set is useful in Patricia's defensive scheme, an in-box safety with solid tackle and man-to-man skills. Beyond that, Wilson is the type of locker room personality the Lions want to keep around. The Cowboys will be looking for safety help this offseason. Carl Joseph is a great, low-cost, high-reward type of option. He's a physical in-box safety who would be an upgrade over Jeff Heath at strong safety and still has a lot of untapped potential. The Patriots-esque system that Graham will be running in New York loves to play man-to-man and loves versatility in the back end. Kendall Fuller can play slot, he can play safety, and he has the skills, the speed, and the smarts to take on a Devin McCourty type of role for this defense. Denard was on pace for his best season of his young career in 2019, finally living up to his first-round tag, since he should do everything they can to keep Jackson and Denard together. If that means cutting Kirkpatrick, then so be it. Resign Denard, extend Jackson. You have your number 1, your number 2 corners for the foreseeable future. Poole was quietly one of the best slot corners in the league last season. The Jets have secondary issues as it is. They probably are happy to reward one of their own. Tramon Williams' value to Pettin's defensive scheme can't be understated. Williams is a slot corner, an outside corner, a safety, a blitzer. He does a lot. He makes plays, and his experience and leadership are absolutely crucial for a mostly young DB group in Green Bay. Those are my 30 underrated NFL free agents this offseason and where I think they could land. Thanks for watching. It's been Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Gronk spike the like button and subscribe for more free agency. Peace out.